beautiful that sky is. Brooding and also bright. Good morning. I am just walking up from Temple Station to King's. Gonna get a coffee and then straight into ancient slavery. This afternoon I have to write my lecture for second year ancient history tomorrow, and then book. I'm gonna do some more work on the book, and I have my daughter's first parent-teacher interviews, so I'm not quite sure what to expect from that. We'll see how the day goes. I've been thinking a lot recently about cognitive dissonance, my own cognitive dissonance about academia. And on the one hand, having this blind belief that I will succeed if I work hard enough and try hard enough and do all the right things, then I will win. But academia isn't a meritocracy. Sometimes you can work the hardest. No, I'm not saying that I work the hardest, but sometimes you can work really hard. You can do all the right things. You can not win. Because there's a whole pile of stuff that goes against you. In my case, that is, I think, being a woman, having a chronic illness, being a parent. But then I also understand that it's statistically unlikely that a person will succeed, that a person like me or like anybody will succeed. The Times Higher Education today had an article about like 10% of PhDs end up working in academia. I'm not going to link it below because I can't get over the feeling that Times Higher Education is just trolling us for shits and giggles. So, but it's an interesting way of looking at things, because on the one hand, I feel like maybe I'm wasting my time doing hourly paid teaching, working on my book, doing new research, but I can't not do those things because I believe I must work hard, and I like working, and I want to work. I want to do the work. I think though, if I ever make the decision that I'm not going to pursue academia, that I have to do it with everything, wholeheartedly, with everything I have. And maybe that will mean not researching. It definitely will mean not teaching. It will probably mean not writing. It will probably mean not going to conferences, not engaging in academic conversations on Twitter and in other places. And I wonder what that means for me as a person, particularly with some of the extra projects that I'm involved in, like ECR Chat and blogging on jobs.ac.uk. So it's an interesting position. I think that I've not quite reached the point where I can bring those two sides, my idealistic, blind faith, and I don't use the word faith lightly, and my understanding of the statistical likelihood of a person, any person, succeeding in academia. So that's sort of what I've been thinking this morning, thinking about last night, and as I have been rushing around getting organised. All the IT systems at King's are down, so that was super helpful, so I couldn't print my handouts. Luckily they weren't very important. I could just pull it up and we could sort of look at the couple of texts up on the screen. Mainly we looked at iconography today. So that was, at least I could get my PowerPoint going. Class was really good today. I've just had a coffee, uploading the vlog from yesterday as we speak, and I'm headed to the Institute of Classical Studies. I am going to do half an hour of work on my book before I do anything else. Then I'm going to write tomorrow's lecture, then more book, then parent-teacher interviews, then me at home alone, all on my own tonight. My partner is away on business and my daughter is staying at her dad's, and I think I'm going to have a bath and have a glass of wine and relax. But we'll see if that actually happens. This afternoon I have been jumping about a bit. I've done some work on my book, I've done some work on my lecture for tomorrow, I have done some tweeting about the Spartathlon, which is starting in 10 days, which I'm really excited about, and I'm going to talk to my students about tomorrow when we talk about mythologizing battles. The name of my second year ancient history class is From Troy to Marathon, which I find a really interesting way, almost a manipulation of how we are meant to approach this period between the Trojan War and the Battle of Marathon. It's very strange. So tomorrow is going to be a very conceptually tough day for my poor second years. But it's going to be so fun, and hopefully we will start getting into some real research-based, research-oriented work. I'm trying to organise to have a session with them in the Institute of Classical Studies a bit later after reading week. I keep going to call reading week half term because that's what the break is in my mind now that my daughter's at school. I'm just going to get a coffee and a snack, and then I'm going to get back to it. Good evening. It is about 10:15 and I'm about to jump into bed. I have finished up everything for tomorrow, including a backup plan in case my plan doesn't work, because I am going to ask a lot of my second years tomorrow. I've also been working on an essay guide for them, talking about the process of doing a research essay, what I expect from them from these essays, and drawing directly on the King's marking criteria, what the difference between a first year and a second year essay is, and how they can take the feedback that they got on their first year essays and use that to formulate a plan to make their second year essays as good or better. So this is based on my own method of research, which is based then along the line on the way that I wrote my classics and archaeology essays when I was an undergraduate. So I think this actually might be quite useful for other ancient history or classics second and third years. I'm going to do a slightly modified version of this for my third years. And then I'm going to post them both on my website. So when they're up, I'll certainly link them in case anybody else is interested in either using them for their own essays, for pointing students towards them, for giving me some advice on how to improve them to make them better resources. So anything like that, I would be really grateful. And so we are going to talk through those tomorrow. We're going to talk about unpacking questions and what the difference between a research essay and a regurgitation essay is. That might be a very harsh differentiation. So I hope they've had a good night's sleep. I'm going to try and get a good night's sleep in preparation for that. And then Friday afternoons is book time. Yes. So tomorrow is going to be all about my awesome second years, more awesome first years. And that's not more awesome than the second years. That's more as in the last lot of my first years. And then head to the ICS, do the book. But right now, I'm about to fall asleep standing up. So thanks so much for coming on my day, and I'll see you tomorrow.